Well, my mom dropped this uh, venison, wild venison. It's a deer that my mom's husband killed for hunting season. And this is its thigh bone. I just had the right word for it in my head and I completely forgot right before I almost said it. But loin? Thigh bone? Whatever. And they said to give the bone to my dog. But look how much meat is on here. It's crazy. So I'm cutting off the meat. I'm letting it thaw out a little bit. Because the really frozen part, like this is like an inch deep. But I cut that off from right there. And the really nice looking meat, I'm either saving it or there was like a small bone that I put in here that broke off real fast. So I'm making a soup. I was making beans. Now it's going to be like a bean soup with venison. So I'm making a bean soup with the venison. And cutting off little pieces as they want to come off of this really nice meat here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And save that for later. The ones that have like a lot of fat on them, I'm just throwing in the soup. These like, they just look really nice. I'm gonna save those for later and putting them into this thing. I don't really care too much about this piece of Tupperware here. So if it goes in the freezer and it like freezes and cracks or whatever, like I'm not gonna cry myself to death. So I'm just throwing it in that. And that is my plans for all night tonight. Cutting up this deer. Making a soup out of it. And soup meat. And then I dropped Ladybird off at Liz's house. Or Liz came and got Ladybird. Because I was working too much. And now it looks like I got some free time. Because stuff happens or whatever. And I'm just not... I thought that I was going to have 2 jobs. And then one of the jobs, like, I got fired. And part of it was probably because I told the guy that I was going to quit, like, any day. Or I was going to take days off. I said, I thought that I was going to make $45 an hour. But, the whole crew said, oh, that job that said that they pay $45 an hour, that wasn't this job. That was some other job. They're like, these guys only pay like 20. Like, or 18. And they pay the foreman 20. And I was like, what? Like, so I told him like, hey, I thought that this job was the one I was talking to that paid like between 35 and 45 an hour. But the whole crew is saying that you pay like 20 an hour. So I'm only going to be here for so long. I'm not going to be here for the whole career like I was going to make out of this $45 an hour construction job. And the guy had me come in the morning, work for like an hour or 2, or like 3 hours. Wait, what was it? Had to be 11. So between 7 and 11, that's 4 hours. And 4 hours in, he said, "Oh, this isn't going to work out between us." And he handed me a check. And I was like, looking at him like, wow, you guys are like buried in work. Like, I would have, like, if I was as buried in work as those guys, I would have just had anybody there. And their crew is like not the hardest working set of experienced gentlemen in all of construction. Like, this was like a bunch of kids that were like 20, like, didn't really know what they were doing. Like, people would come up and like, I told this kid, like, we were supposed to be like putting this glue down on these like pieces of metal thing, and they told me how to do it, and I was doing it like that. And then they told the kid how to do it, and the kid was doing it like completely half-ass. And he was like, "Well, we're gonna end up reworking them anyway." And I was like, "Can't we just, you know, do our best now, and then like, if we have to rework them, we'll rework them later, whatever." And he's like, just being kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I mean, he was a young kid. He said he was 20, so, I mean, whatever. But, I don't know. Sometimes it's not about if you're a good worker. It's more about if you're the cheapest one. And as long as you're the cheapest one, you can do as much of a fucked up job as you want. So, that's for everybody to know about construction companies, being a construction worker. I would say just work in general. If you're the cheapest employee possible, then your boss is going to deal with anything you do in construction. If you are slightly more expensive, then they don't care if you could just take the job, they could go home and never see a construction site again. Your boss is really there to be a bossy boss. They're like basically losing money by owning this company to take advantage of feeling like they have power over somebody else. And that is the business model of America. Thank you. Have a good day.